In today's video, I'm going to show how to flush mount aftermarket tweeters into the Elantra's tweeter cover and remove the Bose emblem from the lower speaker grille. Here's a comparison of what the doors look like before the process and what they'll look like after the process is completed. You will only need a few tools for this process. The tools you'll need are as follows: a Phillips head screwdriver, a small flathead screwdriver, a plastic trim tool, a hole saw, a Dremel, and possibly 3M double-sided tape. I will have a link to all the items used in this install in the video description. You'll begin the process by removing the door panel. Using a plastic trim removal tool, pop off the sail panel in the upper corner of the door. Begin at the top of the sail panel and work your way down. This panel should pop off easily. Next, using a small flathead screwdriver, pop up the small square cover in the bottom of the door handle. Then unscrew the Phillips head screw underneath the cover. Move over to the side of the door panel. Using the same small screwdriver again, insert it in the side of the small circular cover. Pop off the cover and unscrew the Phillips head screw underneath the cover. Now you can use the trim tool to pop off the door panel. I like to start at the lower corner and work my way up both sides. Once all the plastic clips have been popped, you can lift up to separate the panel from the door. You'll need to unhook the door latch and wire harness before you can completely remove the door panel from the car. If you already have an aftermarket tweeter installed in the car, you'll want to go ahead and remove it now. If you want to remove the Bose emblem from the door, since you're installing aftermarket speakers, all you need to do is take a small flathead screwdriver, place it in the back side of the emblem, and push up. The emblem is simply pushed into the door. It's not held into place with adhesive, screws, or a backplate. If you sell your car and want to reinstall the emblem, you can do so by pushing the emblem back into place. With the door panel removed, you can move on to installing the tweeter into the tweeter cover. You could perform this install with the tweeter cover attached to the door, but I wouldn't recommend it. The tweeter cover is easy to remove. You will need to push in the plastic clips holding the cover in place. I would suggest starting with the clip to the right side of the cover. You may need to use a plastic trim tool or small flathead screwdriver for help, but be careful since the plastic clips are easy to break. Now that we have the tweeter cover removed from the door panel, it's time to cut a hole for our aftermarket tweeter. I'm using a Focal Flax component speaker set in my car. The set comes with a 1.5 inch tweeter. This meant I needed to use a 1.5 inch hole saw for my tweeter. Most tweeters range from 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches. I found the tweeter actually measured a bit over 1.5 inches. Focal lists it at 1.5 inches since it's a standard size. Since a hole saw isn't made in the exact size, I had to use a Dremel to enlarge the cutout enough for the tweeter to slide into the tweeter cover cutout. When you cut the hole with the hole saw, you'll want to place the drill bit in the center hole of the speaker cover. This will ensure that you start with a perfectly centered hole. After the hole is cut, you may have some plastic buildup. Just sand it off with the Dremel. Be careful when using the Dremel. It can walk away from you and cause you to damage the cover. Take your time anytime that you're using the Dremel. If you need a slightly larger hole, like I did, use the Dremel to enlarge the hole by sanding the inside of the hole in a circular motion. This will help to keep the hole evenly round. I found I like using the bullet-shaped grinding bit the best for this project. Depending on how much extra you need to get the tweeter to fit, it may take a bit of time, but again, just take your time. Keep testing the tweeter to see if it fits until you can press the tweeter firmly into place. Once the tweeter can be firmly pressed into the tweeter cover, you can secure the back of the tweeter. I found my tweeter was tight enough I really didn't need to add anything to the back, but just for good measure, I added some 3M double-sided tape to the back side of the tweeter. This held the tweeter to the cover. Some tweeters come with a small metal clip that can be attached to the back of the tweeter to hold it in place when flush mounting the tweeter. If you have this type of mounting option, you can use it. Now that the tweeter was installed into the cover, I reinstall the cover into the door. You will want to reverse the install process versus the removal process. Install the left side of the cover and then push the rest of the cover into place. Install the cover carefully because again, the plastic clips can break easily. The cover fits tightly into the door. Reinstall the door panel. Hook up the tweeter wires. Reconnect the door handle latch and wire harness. I always test the door handle to make sure it works so I don't have to remove the door panel again. Set the door panel back on top of the door. Line up the clips with the holes and push the door panel back into the door. Make sure you hit the door all around the edges to ensure the panel is popped back in tightly. Reinstall the sail panel. Screw in the side screw and pop on the cover. Finally, reinstall the screw into the bottom of the door handle and put the cover back on top of the screw. This completes the installation process. I feel the install turned out great. There was nothing wrong with having the tweeter behind the door panel, but I feel being able to see the tweeter looks cooler. I will say after I completed this install and listened to my system again, I immediately noticed a difference in my highs. They were brighter and more pronounced. So I will have to retune my system to accommodate for this change in sound. I will have another video going over how I retuned my system and what new microphone I decided to use. I really enjoy the new look and sound. Plus, getting rid of the Bose Emblem was a nice bonus. I wish I had a small focal emblem to install in its place. If you're looking for a more custom look and want a bit more from your highs, I feel this is a great way to go. Please let me know what you think of this install and if you've done anything different. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content.